When it comes to natural remedies for health, there's one drink that seems to show up everywhere: green tea. For centuries, it's been a staple in Asian cultures, valued for its calming taste and believed healing powers. In recent years, though, it has exploded into global popularity as a so-called super drink. You'll find it in tea bags, bottled drinks, powders, and even supplements promising fat-burning miracles. Health bloggers rave about it, fitness enthusiasts swear by it, and nutrition companies use it as a selling point. But it leaves us with an important question. Is this reputation based on truth, or is it mostly marketing hype? Does green tea really burn fat? This question matters more than it seems at first. Around the world, millions of people are trying to manage their weight. Some are motivated by health concerns like diabetes, high blood pressure, or joint pain. Others simply want to feel more comfortable in their own skin, to look in the mirror with confidence, or to fit back into their favorite clothes. In this journey, many are searching for something simple, an easy habit they can add to their day that makes the process a little easier. Green tea feels like the perfect answer: natural, safe, inexpensive, and packed into a soothing cup. If it truly burns fat, then maybe, just maybe, weight loss doesn't have to be so complicated. The fascination with green tea largely comes from what's inside it. Unlike black tea, which is fermented, green tea is made from unoxidized leaves, meaning it keeps a higher concentration of natural compounds. Among these are antioxidants called catechins, and one catechin in particular, epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG for short, has been studied extensively. EGCG is believed to increase fat oxidation, which basically means helping your body break down fat and use it for energy more efficiently. Add to this the caffeine naturally present in green tea, and you have a combination that seems to gently stimulate metabolism. Think of your body's metabolism as a fireplace. Normally, it burns steadily, keeping your body fueled. Drinking green tea is like tossing in a few extra twigs. It doesn't create a roaring blaze, but it makes the fire burn a little hotter for a while. Research suggests that drinking green tea can increase calorie burning by about 3 to 4% in a 24-hour period. For someone burning 2,000 calories a day, that translates to about 60 to 80 extra calories, roughly the amount in a small cookie. It's not a dramatic number, but over weeks and months, those small differences can add up. Of course, this raises another important point. Green tea alone is not enough to transform your body. No drink, no matter how healthy, can undo the effects of a poor diet or an inactive lifestyle. If someone eats fast food every day and rarely moves their body, green tea won't magically cancel out those choices. On the other hand, for people who are already making an effort, walking daily, cooking balanced meals, or cutting back on sugar, green tea can act as a steady ally. It's not the hero of the story, but it plays a supporting role that makes the overall effort easier. What's interesting is how green tea's impact can go beyond just the calories. For many, the ritual itself is part of the benefit. Unlike gulping down an energy drink or soda, preparing tea requires a pause: boiling water, steeping the leaves, inhaling the steam before sipping. That simple act creates a moment of calm in a busy day. And reducing stress has its own indirect impact on fat management. Stress hormones like cortisol can increase appetite and encourage fat storage, especially around the belly. By carving out a mindful tea ritual, you may be helping your waistline in more ways than one. It's also worth mentioning that not all green tea products are created equal. A freshly brewed cup of plain green tea delivers catechins and caffeine in their natural balance. Bottled teas, however, often contain so much added sugar that they negate any potential benefits. Supplements with concentrated green tea extract can deliver stronger effects, but in high doses they carry risks, such as liver irritation in rare cases. More isn't always better. Balance and moderation matter. Another point that often gets overlooked is that green tea's real benefit might be in what it replaces. If you normally drink sugary sodas, creamy lattes, or juice loaded with calories, and you swap those for unsweetened green tea, you're cutting hundreds of calories a week. Over time, that calorie gap has a far bigger impact on weight than the catechins themselves. In this way, green tea becomes both a helper and a teacher. It nudges your metabolism while also training you to make healthier beverage choices. So, is green tea a miracle fat burner? No. But is it a complete myth? Definitely not. The truth lies in the middle. Green tea can support fat loss, but only modestly and only when combined with an overall healthy lifestyle. The real value may be less about burning fat and more about creating positive habits, hydrating your body, calming your mind, and replacing less healthy drinks with something natural and nourishing. That's why the green tea debate is so fascinating. It shows how health isn't about one single answer, but about how small choices stack together. Each cup of tea is one small choice in your favor. If you're curious about using green tea for fat loss, the first real step isn't to expect miracles, it's to use it as a smart daily swap. This single move may sound simple, but it can set the stage for healthier habits and small, steady progress that adds up over time. Think of it as giving green tea a job, replacing the high-calorie, sugar-heavy drinks that sneak into your routine and quietly work against your goals. Most people don't realize how many calories they drink each day. A mid-morning soda, a flavored latte, or even bottled iced teas can load your body with 150 to 300 calories without making you feel full. That's the hidden danger of liquid calories. They slip in easily, but they don't register in the same way food does. Now, picture swapping even one of those drinks with a cup of unsweetened green tea. Right away, you've cut out a chunk of calories. And unlike water, green tea gives you antioxidants, gentle caffeine, and a calming ritual that feels satisfying. Here's a real-life example. Imagine someone who drinks 2 cans of soda every afternoon at work to fight fatigue. That's about 300 calories a day, or more than 2,000 a week. If they replaced even one of those sodas with green tea, they'd save 1,000 calories weekly, the equivalent of nearly a third of a pound of fat, without touching the rest of their diet. Over months, that swap alone could mean several pounds lost, and all from a change that feels small and doable. This first move is powerful because it's not about restriction, it's about replacement. You're not telling yourself, I can't have this. You're simply saying, I'll have this instead. That shift in mindset makes the habit much easier to stick with, because it doesn't feel like punishment. Instead, you're giving your body something nourishing while gently steering it away from hidden traps. Another benefit is energy. Thanks to its caffeine content, green tea can help lift your alertness, though in a softer way than coffee. Instead of a jittery spike followed by a crash, many people find the energy from green tea to be steady and smooth. That makes it an ideal afternoon pick-me-up. When you're tempted to grab a sugar-filled drink for energy, green tea can step in, keeping you awake without leading to the crash that leaves you craving more snacks later. Now, you may be wondering, when's the best time to drink green tea for fat loss? While there's no strict rule, drinking it before exercise is especially effective. Research shows that the combination of catechins and caffeine can slightly increase fat oxidation during activity. That means your body is more likely to tap into stored fat for fuel. So if you're heading out for a walk, a bike ride, or even a gentle stretch session, sipping a cup of green tea beforehand could give you a small but meaningful boost. There's also a hidden psychological benefit here. When you brew a cup of green tea, you're not just consuming a drink, you're performing a ritual. That ritual can act as a pause button in your day, a reminder of the choices you're making for your health. For people trying to lose weight, those small moments of mindfulness can be game changers. Instead of reaching for food automatically, you pause, sip, and reflect. Over time, this can break the cycle of mindless snacking and emotional eating. Let's bring this to life with a story. Imagine a student who always reached for sugary coffee drinks while studying. They thought the sugar was helping them focus, but in reality, the crashes left them more distracted. After swapping those drinks for green tea, they noticed their energy felt steadier, their concentration improved, and their cravings for late-night snacks decreased. Within a few months, not only did they lose a bit of weight, but they also felt sharper and more in control of their study habits. That's why the first step is not about perfection, but about creating consistency. 1 cup of green tea won't make a difference, but 100 cups over weeks and months will. Each one represents a healthier choice, a vote for the person you want to become. And while the fat-burning effect of green tea is modest, the ripple effect of this habit, cutting calories, stabilizing energy, encouraging mindfulness, can be far more powerful than people realize. So, the first key move is clear. Treat green tea as a daily replacement for sugary, high-calorie drinks. Once you've made green tea part of your daily routine, the next step is learning how to combine it with the right habits so its benefits don't just sit on the sidelines. Green tea on its own may burn a small number of extra calories, but when it's paired with smart lifestyle choices, those small gains start to multiply. Think of it as a teammate. It won't win the game alone, but it can make the whole team stronger. One of the best pairings is green tea and exercise. Research suggests that drinking green tea before a workout can enhance fat oxidation, meaning your body uses more fat for fuel during activity. This doesn't mean you'll suddenly melt fat off with every sip, but it does mean your exercise may become more efficient. Imagine going for your usual 30-minute walk. Without green tea, Your body already burns calories and uses some stored fat. With green tea in your system, you might tap into a little more fat than you normally would. Over weeks and months, those little differences add up. Here's a simple story to picture this. Think of a retiree who starts walking around the neighborhood every morning. At first, the walks feel slow and tiring, but after sipping a cup of green tea before heading out, they notice a small lift in energy. It's not the jittery kind of boost that coffee gives. It's smoother, more focused. The walks start to feel easier, which means they walk longer. Over time, they shed pounds, not because of the tea alone, but because the tea helped them stick to their exercise habit. Another way green tea works well is as a tool for curbing appetite. Many people mistake thirst for hunger. Others find that cravings creep up in the afternoon or late evening. Green tea can step in here. A warm cup gives you something to sip on, which satisfies the desire to consume something without adding calories. Some studies even suggest that catechins and caffeine may slightly reduce appetite. Think about those nights when you're sitting on the couch and suddenly feel like you need a snack. Often, it's not real hunger. It's boredom, habit, or stress. Brewing a cup of green tea gives your hands and mouth something to do, and the warmth can calm the urge to graze. Even if it doesn't eliminate cravings completely, it buys you time to think, am I really hungry, or do I just want comfort? That pause alone can save you from hundreds of unnecessary calories over a week. Timing also plays a role. Morning and afternoon are great times for green tea because the caffeine gives you alertness without the crash that comes from sugary drinks. In the evening, however, caffeine can interfere with sleep. And poor sleep is one of the hidden culprits of weight gain. It raises cortisol, increases appetite, and makes junk food more tempting. So, while green tea is a smart choice during the day, switching to a caffeine-free herbal tea at night can protect your rest and keep your fat loss efforts on track. Here's a relatable example. Picture a college student who used to stay up late studying, fueled by sweetened coffee drinks. The sugar spikes left them jittery, and the crashes pushed them to snack on chips. Eventually, they swapped those drinks for green tea earlier in the evening, then switched to caffeine-free herbal tea after 8 p.m. Suddenly, they weren't crashing, they weren't craving snacks as much, and they were sleeping better. The weight they had struggled with finally started to come off, not because green tea is magic, but because it helped them create healthier rhythms. The real secret here is synergy. Green tea plus exercise. Green tea plus mindful eating. Green tea plus better sleep. Each habit on its own may give you a modest result, but when they come together, the effect multiplies. That's how fat loss really happens, not through quick fixes, but through small, supportive habits working in harmony. There's also an emotional side to this. Every time you drink green tea, you're making a small declaration, I care about my health. Those tiny declarations build over time, shaping your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles with willpower and start seeing yourself as someone who makes conscious choices. That identity shift is what allows habits to stick for the long run. At this point, we've unpacked the science behind green tea, seen how it can be used as a daily swap, and explored how to pair it with healthy habits like exercise and mindful eating. Now it's time to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the part that matters most. The third and final key move is to recognize that green tea is just one piece of the puzzle. Real fat loss and long-term health come from the combination of many small, consistent choices working together. It's tempting to hope for one magic solution. People want to believe there's a drink, a pill, or a hack that can make fat disappear. That's why green tea has become so famous. It's easy to imagine that a cup a day could be the key to transformation. But the truth is more encouraging than disappointing. You don't need miracles. You just need small steps that you repeat over and over until they become part of who you are. Green tea can be one of those steps, but the bigger story is the lifestyle that surrounds it. So what does that lifestyle look like? It doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean dieting so strictly that you feel miserable. It means balance. Eating more whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Staying active in ways you enjoy, whether that's walking, dancing, gardening, or swimming. Sleeping enough so your body can recover and your hormones stay balanced. Managing stress so your cravings don't run wild. And along the way, choosing green tea over sugary drinks becomes one more habit that reinforces the whole system. Think of it like a puzzle. Each habit is a piece. Exercise is one piece. Nutrition is another. Sleep, stress, hydration, all pieces. Green tea is a piece too, and when it's put into place, the picture becomes clearer. By itself, it's not the whole puzzle, but together with the others, It helps complete the image of health and balance. Here's an inspiring story. Imagine someone in their 50s who has struggled with weight for years. They've tried crash diets and extreme programs, but nothing ever stuck. Eventually, they decided to shift their mindset. Instead of looking for shortcuts, they started focusing on small, doable habits. Each morning, they brewed a cup of green tea instead of reaching for juice. They began walking 20 minutes after dinner. They cut back on late-night snacking by sipping tea instead. At first, the changes seemed minor, but months later, their energy was higher, their clothes fit better, and their confidence returned. The transformation didn't come from green tea alone. It came from the chain of positive habits that tea helped spark. That's the real lesson here. Green tea is powerful not because it burns hundreds of calories, but because it encourages consistency. Every cup is a little reminder of the healthy path you've chosen. And consistency, not perfection, is what truly delivers results. For older adults especially, this perspective is vital. It's easy to feel like your body won't change anymore or that it's too late to make improvements. But the body responds at any age. Antioxidants from green tea support cellular health. Small calorie savings from swaps add up. A calming tea ritual lowers stress. These may not sound dramatic, but over months and years, they make a real difference. More importantly, they reinforce independence, the ability to feel strong, energetic, and confident in daily life. So, does green tea really burn fat? The most honest answer is, a little, but not by itself. It gives your metabolism a gentle nudge, helps control cravings, and supports exercise. But the real fat-burning power comes when you place it inside a bigger lifestyle built on healthy choices. Green tea is not the magic bullet, it's the steady companion. And maybe that's what makes it special. Because at the end of the day, what people truly need is not magic but momentum. One healthy choice leads to another. A cup of green tea instead of soda leads to fewer calories. That choice makes your walk feel easier, which builds consistency. That consistency improves your sleep, which reduces cravings. And before you know it, you're living in a rhythm that feels lighter, healthier, and more sustainable. So don't drink green tea expecting a miracle. Drink it as a daily act of care. Let it remind you that small steps matter. Let it give you calm in the middle of stress, energy before your walk, and pride when you see your healthier self looking back in the mirror. In the end, the myth is that green tea alone will melt away fat. The fact is that green tea, when combined with mindful choices, can absolutely support your journey. And the greatest truth of all? The power isn't in the cup, it's in you.